Let's go ahead and just preview this game. Obviously, down in Tucson, the Buffs head down there. Travis Hunter's playing. That's a good update. But let's go ahead and preview this. Your thoughts on this matchup for Colorado? Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I think Arizona is a good team. I think they lost a lot when Jed Fish walked away and took the Washington job. I think he's a pretty special coach, and so I think they're going through some struggles because of that. I do believe on offense we should. There's no reason why we shouldn't be able to run the ball against this defense. We just have to commit to it. So in my perfect world, I would love to see that and then play action off of it over the top, use the guys we have on the outside. They do have a pretty good quarterback. He's athletic. He can make throws down the field. They got some good guys, some big guys on the outside on offense for Arizona. So I think it'll be a little bit of a challenge because they can put up points when that quarterback, he's a little streaky, but when he gets it going, they can put up a lot of points. I think from a logistical type of thing, I love the fact that it's at 1 p.m. and it's not at night in Arizona in the desert, because that's never easy to play in. Those kids, the later the day gets, the rowdier those people get down there in Arizona. So I'm glad it's kicking off early and we'll get this thing over with. Arizona might be a little sleepy. I don't think they're used to 1 p.m. kickoffs, right? Just because they have to wait for that window in the time of the year where they can start playing earlier once the temperature drops. So I think this is a very important game. It's a very winnable game. We need this. We need to get to 5-2. We sure as hell don't need to be 4-3.
No, God, 4-3 sounds terrible.
It really does. So I think the Buffs win. I think it's tight just because Arizona can score, and I'm a little worried about the athleticism of their quarterback.
And look, that McMillan kid, their receiver is legit as shit. He's a first-round talent for sure. Okay, so I got to ask you this question before Bailey gets the next one. And when you have to leave, just tell us and we'll get you out of here.
Yeah.
Is it now time, and I'm not advocating this. Again, everyone in the chat and everyone that's going to take this the wrong way, I'm not advocating this. But is it time for Travis to play one way this week and get his feet back underneath him, or are we just throwing him out there and rolling?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's time for maybe to limit some of the offensive snaps. I don't know if it's fully let's commit to him only playing defense.
Even with Miller out, I mean, Miller broke his leg and Horn's still hurt, and so it seems like we could just run the ball and control the clock a little bit because we don't have any receivers. But that's just me. I
mean, I still think they got some guys that can play out there, right? I mean, that room is pretty deep, that wide receiver room. And I feel like one guy goes down and, oh shit, we got somebody else we didn't even know about, and he's pretty good too. So, I think we gotta be smart about how many snaps what Travis is getting, because we need him way more down the stretch than I think we need him on Saturday afternoon in Tucson. But I think he's a difference maker. Obviously, he's the best player in college football. I think he's more of a difference maker at corner than he is at wide receiver. So I would love to see more reps at corner than at wide receiver.
Okay. Bailey, roll.
What are your thoughts? So obviously Colorado's played a couple mobile quarterbacks this year. Now they're facing another one who's pretty good. He's a shorter kid, but he can sling as well as run. What does Colorado's defense got to do to shut down Fafita and make sure he's not scrambling all day?
Yeah, I mean, you got to keep him in. You got to keep him in the pocket, right? you got to have disciplined rush lanes. You got to try to put creative pressures against him, in my opinion. Get him off of his first read quickly, but then try to find a way to keep him in there, right? Because once he gets outside and he starts making people miss, that's when they make big plays down the field. So I'd love to see him pressure him. But then, the linemen, and they have to have disciplined rush lanes. You can't let them sneak out, because that's when we're going to have problems. So, I mean, he's going to present a problem no matter what. That's just the type of player he is. We got to just do the best we can to contain him.
No doubt.
How do you think they're going to do that with it? Look, and I'm just going to say this. Do they need to go, maybe dime and take one of the two incredibly good middle linebackers off the field and put Shiloh on more? I mean, Shiloh really struggled last week, but again, I've had games coming back from injury. I've never came back from a broken arm in the middle of the season. That's some tough shit. But he didn't play well. And I've had games where I didn't play well. You've had games where you didn't play well. It happens. You know, the response is usually pretty good from a competitor. I seem to think that the defense played a little bit better when he wasn't on the field, and that's not knocking him. It's just what it is, my opinion. Where do you stand on that, especially with this mobile kid? And I mean, they're going to do as much RPO shit as we say we're going to do, but we don't really do RPO because we don't run the ball.
Yeah, I think we played much better on defense without him, and that's, again, like you, I'm not trying to knock the kid. I mean, he's a kid, he's out there doing the best he can, but he's a downhill, physical, aggressive safety. And I think in a game like this, we don't need that, because the more downhill and the more aggressive he is, guess what? Guys are going to be running right behind him, right past him. And that's what this kid does well at Arizona. He throws a deep ball really well, and he finds a way to get time and let those guys develop stuff down the field. So I think we got to go back to exactly what we were doing against Baylor and against UCF, right? And I love Shiloh's aggressiveness, but it's not the greatest thing for what we're going up against on Saturday in Arizona's offense.
All right, so look, before we get you out of here, I know you got to make a flight. Tell Coach Barnett that I said hello. Give him a hug for me. Can you do a prediction? Being on the sideline?
Yeah, sure.
So prediction time. Predictions. What do you think?
I think there'll be some points scored in this game for sure. But I do like the Buffs. I think we walk out of here with a win. I do think it'll be fairly close. I'm in that probably, 38-30 type of range. I think there's going to be a lot of points back and forth. So I'll go Buffs 38, Arizona 30.
I like that shit. All right. Well, Bob, go have fun in Arizona. Right, we'll be listening to you, brother, and give Coach GB a big hug for me, and I'll see you when you get home. Thanks, brother.
Good. Thanks, fellas.
Thanks for joining, man. Hey, that was a great interview. Bobby Pesavento, can't thank him enough for joining. Big Matt, he predicted it. The Colorado going to go down there.
38-30, I'll take it. The 30 points is a lot, but look, I don't think that this is going to be a blowout either way. I think that this is going to be a competitive game. Last year was 34-31 in Folsom. Remember, Coach Prime iced himself last year, if you remember, like with the kicker. Like he iced himself. We made the kick, and then we went back out to kick it again and missed. Yeah. So that really chapped my ass that day, because that could have been a game to get us to a bowl game. So